Welcome back to another episode of the Remade Life Podcast. In this episode, I am discussing a very important step, which really should be the first step in any autoimmune healing journey. And this is essentially the foundation for reconnecting the mind and the body and building a more compassionate relationship with your body. Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to talk about this topic today because it is such a crucial part of the healing process, and it is a part that is very often overlooked. And to be fair, it's overlooked because our medical system is designed to teach us what is wrong with our bodies. Doctors, physical therapists, trainers, coaches, they all love to tell you what's wrong so they can give you a solution. Well, I am here to ruin their day and tell you what is right with your body. So let me show you why this concept of make it make sense will change the way that you think about your body and also the way that you speak to your body. So raise your hand if you have ever said something along the lines of, I just don't get why my body is this way or why it does what it is doing. My body is so confusing. My body is just rebelling against me. Me too. If you're on YouTube, you see I'm raising my hand, right? There are just a million other reiterations of this, but I mean, you get the point. Like, if you're listening to this podcast, chances are that your hand also went up, except if you're driving. You put that hand back down, okay? With autoimmune disease or really any kind of chronic illness, there's this period of mysterious symptoms that you can't really find an explanation for. It's I don't know why I'm so tired all the time. I don't know why I always feel so bloated after I eat. I don't know why I just can't get any sleep. It's this period of nothing makes sense to you, right? And let me just validate, that is a very discouraging time. You are searching for answers. You've probably gone to the doctor. You've done the blood work, but your labs come back fine. And then you get frustrated because your doctors tell you oh, it's just stress. And you feel so dismissed. And it just creates this snowball effect of growing anger and frustration with your body. You've been there, right? Yeah, same. So when that happens, you either go down this rabbit hole of holistic health and you start to research all the things you can do at home for chronic fatigue, how to reduce bloating, you start to drink more water, maybe you start an exercise program, sign up for yoga, you create this 28-step morning routine, and who out there is sticking their face in ice water, right? I'm thinking of that one guy on Instagram that shared his morning routine and starts at 4 a.m. with push-ups and just ridiculous things. It's weird. Anyways, so you either take this very self-healing approach or you set on a quest to go for more medical tests, and you go on a search to find a doctor that will listen to you, will order more labs, and you are determined to find what is wrong with your body. You do the scans, the hormone levels, you get the function panel done of every organ that you possibly can, and you're seeking whatever test will tell you that this particular thing is wrong with you so that you can point to it and be yep, that's the thing that's causing all my problems. And none of that is wrong. I'm not here to tell you which way or which approach you should take for finding an answer. That is so personal to each of us, and whatever way you get there, whatever way you get what you need, I'm here for it, and I'm here to support you. And also, I'm here to tell you that there is always more to the story, especially with autoimmune disease. There's always more to the story than what any medical test can tell you. And so I'm also here to help you have a more positive experience with your body while you do the searching and while you do the healing, because all of the tests and all of the healing and whatever protocol you decide to implement will do nothing for you without a connection between your mind, you, and your body. So without a connection means there's a separation between you and your body. There's a you and there is your body, right? And you feel like your body is against you and it's not working the way that you want it to. And there's like this opposition between the two of you, right? There's just like, there's no connection, and you want it to do one thing and it's doing another. And there's just this clear divide between the two of you, between you and your body. And that divide will continue to exist as long as you believe that your body is broken, that there's something wrong with you, that there's something that needs to be fixed, that you need to be fixed. Because with this belief, we dismiss our body's wisdom. We're the ones saying, no, body, you're the one that's wrong. You should be acting this way. You should be acting the way that I believe you should be acting. And while we're so frustrated that our doctors are gaslighting us and we're experiencing medical gaslighting, we're actually the ones gaslighting our own body. Think about that. Just sit with that for a moment. Think about that concept of how we ourselves gaslight our own bodies. Our body is expressing all of these symptoms with a request for us to listen to it and like whatever it's trying to communicate. And what we're doing is just seeking anything outside of us that will stop and silence the symptoms. And when we seek to only silence the symptoms and make them go away without any understanding why the symptom is there in the first place, like, we are the ones dismissing our body, and we're mad because our doctors are dismissing us. And I know that our conditioning in Western medicine tells us that the evidence will be in the medical test, right? And that if we find the thing, if we find whatever that thing is in the medical test, then that is why the symptom is there. Like, I'm tired because my B12 is low. I have gut issues because I don't have enough stomach acid, or I have too much stomach acid. I have systemic inflammation because my immune system is confused. And I have back pain because my second lumbar vertebrae is slightly bigger than it's supposed to be, right? Like, we want to pinpoint that one thing and point to it and say, like, that's it, that's the problem. But we do that as if that thing has a mind of its own to just like act outside of the body's direction and design. And it just like decided, you know what? I think I'm going to just mess around and find out, right? We want to believe that that thing is the explanation for everything, and it's the cause for why we feel what we feel. Like, when we completely dismiss the fact that something actually came before that thing that we're pointing to. Like, something caused the B12 to be low. Something caused too little or too much stomach acid, and something created hyperactivity in your immune system. The low back one, I don't know what to tell you. You're just out of luck. I'm just kidding. With things that are more related to like actual structural compensations in the body, like what I do have to say about that is that it was probably always like that. It was likely there before you even felt pain. So it's not necessarily the cause of pain. I mean, it could be, but like the body is so incredible at compensating. So even when you're born with like a slightly bigger vertebrae or a left pinky toe that's bigger than the other, I don't know, whatever it is, like your body is able to compensate and adjust for that. And when the time comes that you do feel pain, it's probably a multifactorial situation, like a multitude of factors that got you to the point of feeling pain. But because there's this specific compensation, it becomes really easy to point to that, right? But that is all I will say on that, because I'm getting off topic. So anyways, all of these medical tests, like really all that they do, like all these medical tests that we take and that we seek out, like all that they do is just point us to more symptoms, which are just other expressions of the body. So then what is the cause, right? Like if the things that we find in our medical tests are actually just other symptoms, then like what is the cause? Like what is the root cause, right? Like we see it everywhere now. We see it everywhere on social media, like all these coaches like promising to help you find the root cause. And like that is so enticing because we always want to find the root cause. And when we, find the symptom that we think is the main cause, and then we adjust our life around it and the symptoms still come up, then like we think like, oh, well, that wasn't really the root cause. So what is the root cause? What is it? Well, I have no idea. I mean, like, I have no idea for you. Each of us are so unique that it's hard to say, okay, this one thing causes this exact expression. And sure, something that is easy, like with acute things, like you fell and tore your Achilles tendon, like, yeah, of course, like, that was it. And you got a mosquito bite, like, of course, you're going to have a really itchy bite on your leg or wherever you were bitten. But like with the slow, progressive, chronic things that are just like, how did this happen? Like, those are the things that only you can know. And that is the lesson within your unique symptoms. That is for you to ask, what created this? And what about my life and my life choices, both the external, internal choices? What led to this? And also, what can you learn from this, right? And maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're not ready to take full, unconditional accountability for your body. And that's okay. Like, maybe you're still in a place where, like, you understand that other stressors contribute to the chronic pain that you're feeling, but you're saying, but that wasn't my fault. Like, it wasn't... it was outside of my control, and that's totally fine, because you really don't even have to be there at a place of full unconditional accountability to make it all make sense. And finally, like, we are here at the point of this episode, make it make sense. So let me first tell you that you don't have to have all the answers to make it make sense. You can make it make sense where you are right now. So before you get to that place of full unconditional accountability, you first have to have some kind of trust with your body. And I get that feels like that trust was broken when your body started acting up. But if we're really honest, like really, really deeply honest, maybe we're the ones that broke that trust first, right? And breaking that trust doesn't always come from poor lifestyle choices. Like, it's not the whole jar of Nutella you ate that one time, speaking from experience. And it's not just like working out 3 days a week instead of 5. Like, it's not eating too many carbs. Like, sometimes, and dare I say more often, that trust is broken from the conditioning of what we were told to believe and how we are to behave and how we're supposed to do things and function in this world and deal with emotions and situations. It's in the denial of our body's experience. It's what we believe we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to, how we are supposed to respond to our environment, right? It's all in that conditioning. It's like in experiencing hurt, but good girls don't cry, right? It's in being treated unfairly, but you just need to forgive. It's in your body isn't supposed to look like that. Your body isn't supposed to respond that way. You're not supposed to say that out loud. It's in being seen and not heard, right? All of those conditionings that we learn, maybe not even directly, maybe for some of us, like we heard that directly from a parent, a caregiver, but other times it's just observing how other people operate in the world, right? And I do get that there are societal standards for a reason. Like, we're not all acting out of primitive instinct and just going at each other like literal animals. But there is this over-conditioning of how we should feel and act, that there is this denial of the body's innate response to its environment. And that denial over and over and over again, like that is what creates tension. That is what creates dis-ease. That is what creates a dysregulation in your nervous system, and that's what leads to that chronic overproduction of cortisol, that leads to systemic inflammation, that leads to the gut issues, to the fatigue, to the pain. So what's the solution? You make it make sense. And what does that mean? What does it look like to make it make sense? Literally just pausing and validating any and all symptoms. You just saying, that makes sense. And like I said before, you don't necessarily have to understand the root cause of anything for you to make it make sense. All this is you coming into agreement with your body's distress or dis-ease, or coming into alignment with whatever your body is experiencing. So instead of experiencing some symptom and then being really frustrated with your body, instead of being annoyed that it's not acting right or the way that it should be, you pause and consider, you know what? I have been really stressed the last 3 months. My job has been really overwhelming. I haven't been making the best food choices. I'm not getting great sleep. You know what? It makes sense that my body isn't feeling great. Doesn't that feel even just a little bit validating for your body? And just that simple acknowledgement brings you into alignment with your body. Your body says, finally, she allows me to feel the way that I feel. It's like this permission, right? Because when all these things are happening that are creating stress on your body, and then you still expect it to run perfectly, like that is a denial of your body's experience. You are rejecting how your body feels. But giving it just like this small sense of validation of saying, you know what, that does make sense, is so freeing to your body. Just saying, I'm a mom of 3. It makes sense I'm tired all the time. I had an emotionally traumatic event a few months ago. It makes sense that I'm living with brain fog 24/7. I'm just not very good at resting, and I own up to that. It makes sense that my body is experiencing chronic pain. Come into alignment. Come into alignment with what your body feels. Make it make sense. And again, you don't have to know the root cause. You don't even have to have a solution. You just have to say, you know what, that makes sense. Like, pause and think about why your body might be responding the way that it does. Just any reason for why it might feel tired, why it might have inflammation, why it might have pain. It doesn't have to be the reason. It just has to get you in the direction of validating your body instead of being at odds with it. And instead of expecting it to work and function like you want it to, and it's coming into acceptance of the reality of what your body is actually living. Make it make sense is really about getting out of the should and into the reality of what is. And I know the argument is, but I'm not stressed. I don't know why I feel like this. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Whether you want to accept it or not, you know. If you pause long enough, you will know. And if you don't, then I encourage you to go sit in silence for like an hour. And I guarantee you that you will come away with an answer. Pause and listen. It's about giving yourself the validation that you seek from everyone else and everything outside of you. It's the validation that you seek from the medical test. It's the validation that you seek from your medical team, from anyone and anything that will give you an explanation. It doesn't have to be like Western medicine. Like when you start to seek answers from whatever holistic healing shaman or whatever they're called, you are still seeking validation from outside of you, right? Like it doesn't matter. I think I said that in my last podcast episode, that it doesn't matter whether it's pharmaceutical or holistic, natural, organic. When it is outside of you, it cannot tell you for you. But this is about giving yourself the validation that you are seeking from everything outside of you. So start with you and make it make sense. So this is a place where you begin to hear your body's symptoms for what they are, not what you think that they should be. And I don't necessarily know the deep understanding of what deep emotional truth is underlying your symptoms, but you don't need to be there yet. You don't have to be at that place of saying okay, my right shoulder hurts. That means I have anger in my liver, and my anger is coming from whatever thing you experienced in childhood. No, you don't even have to go that deep. This is just simply first being understanding of your external environment and how your external world might be creating this symptom of just saying, you know what? Yeah, I haven't been getting great sleep the last several weeks. Just acknowledge that. It doesn't make you a bad person that you don't get sleep and you're experiencing chronic pain because of it, but it is just the practice of giving yourself a little bit of validation, of coming into alignment with whatever symptom you're having. And any amount of validation you give your body will start to reveal itself to you more, and then you can get to the deeper stuff if you want to. But it is a place for you to start reconnecting that trust with your body. Is trust between you and your body. That is what must come first in the healing process, because that cannot happen when you are demanding that your body function 100% when its environment isn't conducive to that. And that trust is built when you empathize with your body and say, you know what? That makes sense. Even if it's not the right answer, even if it's not the answer that you want, just make it make sense. Give your body that little bit of validation and say, you know what? I hear you. It's been a stressful time. So the next time you find yourself freaking out about some new symptom and you're all panicked because your body is confused, I want to encourage you to pause and make it make sense. And just ask yourself, what in my recent environment could be creating this? And be really honest with yourself and just make a list. None of it makes you a bad person for just acknowledging that maybe your environment isn't that great, right? But becoming aware is a starting place for you to make changes. So things like your child's sleep regression has you sleep deprived too. Or you're feeling the weight of everything in the world being more expensive and it's taken a toll on your social life. Or you have a strained relationship with your in-laws. Maybe you aren't really enjoying your work and you dread going every single day. That takes a toll on you. Or maybe you've been experiencing more anxiety than usual about an upcoming trip. You maybe admit that you're more dehydrated than usual. Anything that can give your body just a little bit of validation. Literally any and all of it. So make a list of what in your external environment could be creating this, and just start there. And again, none of it makes you a bad person for just acknowledging that maybe some of your choices haven't been the best, or maybe that you've been avoiding making a choice. And just acknowledge and say, that makes sense. And yes, of course, go see your doctor, right? If you feel that that's the right decision for you. But before you go get that validation from someone else, validate your own body first. And know that all things don't show up in labs. And have an idea of what things you can begin to address that might not show up in labs, right? And you can do that when you make it make sense, when you make that list and acknowledge some of the things in your environment that you can begin to change. So when you stop gaslighting your body's response to the environment that you live in every day, that is when you start to make that connection, rebuild the trust, make it make sense. All right, so I will leave you with that. Make it make sense. Until next time, my friends, be well.